As Malaysia chairs ASEAN this year, Kuala Lumpur isn't just a host city. It's right at the heart of key conversations or where it's happening. Now, one of the biggest events is the meeting of governors and mayors of ASEAN capitals, or MGMAC 2025. It's a mouthful, but it's taking place right here in Kuala Lumpur, and it's the heart of many big conversations about urban living in ASEAN. Joining me to talk about this is the Mayor of Kuala Lumpur right here on Bernama TV's ASEAN, Dari Kuala Lumpur ke Dunia. Dato Seri, thank you so much for taking time off to do this for us. Now, I'd like to begin here. Let's start with the role of Kuala Lumpur is playing this year as the host of the MGMAC or the MGMAC 25. Of course, this is happening during Malaysia's ASEAN chairmanship. Now, my question is, how important is this moment for the city of Kuala Lumpur, and what does this mean for Kuala Lumpur to take the lead in this way?
Yeah, thank you very much, Bernama, for having me this afternoon. Yeah, first of all, Malaysia, we are now the chairman of ASEAN. And every country who chair ASEAN, they will have ASEAN Governors and Mayors Forum in every country, in every city. And for ASEAN Governors and Mayors Forum, and Kuala Lumpur as host, to me, is more than just a host. For us is to display and to share our success, and also to display and to share our challenges within the ASEAN cities. And for this ASEAN, we will have three main programs that dealing with cities. One is ASEAN and Governors Mayors Forum. It will be we are expecting around 8,000 participants. And then on top of that, we will have ASEAN and ASEAN Mayors and Governors Capital Meeting, which I'm going to chair. All the 10 capital meeting, the ASEAN Mayors are going to chair. And the other one is that ASEAN Sustainable Urbanization Forum. You know why we have that ASEAN Sustainable Urbanization Forum? Because when I was in the UN, UN Habitat did the ASEAN Sustainable Urbanization Strategy. So now, where is the implementation of that strategy? So going back to your question, that I think this is the moment for us to take the opportunity, not only the BKL, I think the whole Malaysia and the stakeholders in Kuala Lumpur, to take the opportunity to showcase all the struggle, all the achievement and the growth that we have, and also to share our challenges. I don't want to say problem because it's very negative. It's our challenge, so that maybe we can get some ideas from other cities, how they prosper, how they grow, so that we can adopt and adapt the good practices from other cities.
And because it's the year of ASEAN, I don't want to talk about challenges, but I'd like to talk about what Kuala Lumpur as a city has with regards to advantages.
We, comparatively, Kuala Lumpur and other cities in ASEAN, I think we are well ahead in our planning, because we have very good plan-led development. You have the RM13, we have the such a plan, and then we have the local plan. We just had our local plan gazetted in June last month. And we also have, if you look in terms of the governance, I think we are well strategic, well put in terms of the governance. And also in terms of the town planning, or the planning and the growth of Kuala Lumpur. We have our plan, we have our good infrastructure, and then at the same time, we have the culture. We have the arts and culture, and Kuala Lumpur is also the hub of the talent, the hub of the investment, at the same time also hub of the education. So I think we are a city for all. So the theme of City for All, we would like to demonstrate, we would like to share with other cities in ASEAN, at the same time outside ASEAN, because there will be a participant outside ASEAN also.
Right. It's interesting that you say that, because not all ASEAN capital cities are growing at the same speed if we look at it. Now, some are moving quickly while others are still catching up. Do you see MGMAC or MGMAC as a space where cities can work together and support each other through those differences?
Yes, because each city in ASEAN, just take the capital city, for example, the 10 capital city, the rate of urbanization from one city to another city are different. For example, like just within Malaysia itself, the rate of urbanization of Kuala Lumpur, Georgetown, Penang, or other on Johor Bahru are different. So definitely there is a gap between rural urban. That's why we have the rural urban disparity and how we can link between rural and urban. But of course, in Kuala Lumpur, the urban sprawl, you can see that the inner city of Kuala Lumpur, we have 2 million population. But you talk about the greater Kuala Lumpur, we have 8 million and now growing to 9 million population. Definitely, in Kuala Lumpur, we are the hub of employment. And definitely within these 2 million, there are people who are working as a government, in the investors, in the not so much on agriculture, but there is, and also on manufacturing. And at the same time, there are also different work and different hierarchy and different types of people in Kuala Lumpur, either from other states or even from other countries. So I think definitely in the cities there is an element of disparity, element of inequity, and also element of a gap between the have and the have-not. I don't want to say the poor and the rich, but the have and the have-not. So I think this is a phenomenon in a city called capital.
It's interesting that you use the word have and have not, because I use the very same line every time I talk about disparity and equity. Now, I interviewed you some 20 years ago, and I'm going to digress menyimpang sikit. I'm going to digress to talk about the soul of a city. Before we get into climate change and all the bad stories that come with climate change, some 20 years ago when I spoke to you on RTM, you talked about the soul of a town, of a city, and how that soul is important. If you take away an old building, you take away a soul of that town or the city. Now, with that in mind, 20 years on, I'm sitting with you today and talking about it. What do you think about when you look at the city and all the old buildings within the city? We've done a great job in keeping them alive, but what plans do you have for these buildings and the soul of Kuala Lumpur? How are you planning to preserve that soul?
Yeah. When I joined Kuala Lumpur as a mayor on the 15th of August last year, my room, this floor, and it's facing the Masjid Jami and also the Dataran Merdeka. Then I also asked my colleagues, where is actually the old part of Kuala Lumpur? They said, Dato Seri, it's in front of you. They said, how can we save or we conserve or we make the Kuala Lumpur more vibrant? Because it's before I joined Kuala Lumpur, I heard that our Prime Minister also talking about bringing back the vibrancy of Kuala Lumpur. And at the same time, when I met him, when I took my appointment letter, he also mentioned that, look, bring back the soul, the same jiwa of Kuala Lumpur. That's why when I came in, first thing is that we came up with the plan of the, we call it the heritage area. It's also stated in our local plan. The heritage area from the Bangunan Sultan Abdul Samad to the Masjid Jami and the Dataran Merdeka, all the way to Taman Botani and the Serika Kosa Sri Negara is around 19 square kilometer. And we had the master plan, and we worked together with Think City, with Khazanah, and even now you see on the ground Bangunan Sultan Abdul Samad, we are under renovation, and at the same time also Dataran Merdeka, we are going to refurbish. Yes, we conserve the building, but more important, to bring back the soul, the activity, the content. So I think this is what we are doing now, and we was very lucky that we were given funding from Khazanah. I think the Khazanah put up around 700 million to make this Warisan Kuala Lumpur. I think on June this year, the Prime Minister launched this study, and she called it Warisan Kuala Lumpur. So this is where that the buildings, the activities, the street, hopefully, will be more vibrant, more life, meaning that Kuala Lumpur never sleep. So I think this is what we would like to see in future time.
And I think by what you're saying, it always goes back to buy-in. The people also have to be a part of bringing the life or making it a city with life. It has to be the government, DBKL, and also the people of Kuala Lumpur, which makes up the heart of Kuala Lumpur. Now, speaking of which, I'd like to move into this, a conversation that must be had. Climate change, it's already affecting many cities in the world, and we know that everyone needs to be prepared, and it's no longer an option for people. Now, what steps is Kuala Lumpur taking to be more climate resilient, and how will you bring that into the MGMAC discussions?
Yeah. One of the areas that we would like to see is that I used to share this saying that city is for the people, people are for the city. So whatever that we do, we must be people-centered. Talk about smart city, people-centered smart city. Talk about climate change, people-centered. Because when you know in 2020, when COVID came, who are the people, who are the front liner, are the people, are the mayors and the people. So I think where I always put forward the principle of 4P in whatever that I do. 4Ps, public, private, people partnership.
Public, private, people partnership.
People used to say public-private partnership. I said that public-private partnership, if the people disagree, you cannot do your project also. So it's public-private people partnership. So I said it 4Ps principle. And then when you talk about the 4Ps, when you talk about people, and you talk about climate change is real. You see that now, Kuala Lumpur, to a certain extent, is warmer than before. Then when I came to Kuala Lumpur, first thing that people ask me, Datuk Bandar, look at the mitigation and adaptation measures for flooding. That is, last time we used to say that flood is in monsoon. The monsoon time is end of the year. But now, it's no more. The flood can be any time. So I think this climate change is real, and I'm very fortunate that Kuala Lumpur, we already have the climate policy, climate change plan for 2050, where we want to be carbon neutral by 2050. And we have all the policy and all the action plan. So and that are the base of Kuala Lumpur at the moment.
That will come hand in hand with, of course, digital transformation is also going to be a major topic this year. Now, what is Kuala Lumpur doing to become a smarter, more connected city? And are there any new technologies or ideas that you're especially proud to share with the region, with the people of ASEAN? Yeah.
When we come up with the MGMAC, ASEAN Mayors Governance Forum and the ASEAN Sustainable Urbanization Forum, we chose four themes. One of that is climate resilient cities. There's one topic they were going to discuss because we realized that all the ASEAN countries, even outside ASEAN, they experience climate change problem. Second is on the inclusive, healthy and caring society. And third, digital transformation. That's what you say about the smart city and innovative cities. And fourth, we are looking into collaborative pathways to sustainable cities and enabling policy, partnership and financing. So if you have policy, without finance, you cannot go anywhere. So in terms, to answer your question for the digital, yes. When I came in, one of the things that we would like to do is the smart city. And I'm also very fortunate that when I came into Kuala Lumpur, we already have the smart city policy, smart city plan. And for me, it's just look at the plan and how can I implement it, because it was done 2021 to until 2050. So one area is that plan-led development. Another one is just on the digital urban twin, you know, the twin, digital twin, right. The urban digital twin. I think this, if you look into the capital city in other countries, they already have this. But I'm now pushing very hard and hopefully the first phase of urban digital twin will be completed by August, because by September we will have our Smart City Expo in Kuala Lumpur. That is one. Second is, if you have a chance, please go to our Kuala Lumpur Command Center.
Kuala Lumpur Command
Center, KLCCC, and where we have the around 5,000 CCTV, and at the moment now 16 AI, contributors. So meaning that we also look into the traffic, into the cleanliness, and from there into the enforcement, and at the same time in terms of the safety, we work together with the police. So, and we plan to have another 5,000 more by 2029. So we will have 10,000 CCTV. Of course, it's not enough, but what we are doing now, we would like to share together with other private CCTVs within Kuala Lumpur to make us seamless connectivity in terms of information, in terms of safety, and at the same time, we would like to have no digital divide. We would like to have seamless digital transformation in Kuala Lumpur.
Right. Having said that, you also want the public, you want to hear from the public. How do you get the public involved in the building of the city? How do you get feedback from the public? Is that part of your biggest strategy, to get feedback from the people of KL about what they want in Kuala Lumpur?
I'm a person who believes in bottom-up. But not only bottom-up, I also believe in top-bottom.
Right.
Because if we don't have a leader who have a vision, it's also going nowhere. I believe in bottom-up, top-bottom, convergence of ideas in the middle.
Would you then say that Singapore is top-bottom? For it to be a great city like it is?
Yes, they also have a bottom-up now.
They bottom.
But I think at the very beginning, I would say that they are top-bottom.
Right.
But now I think people change. There are now movement towards the more public participation. If you see that the Prime Minister also mentioned that. But I want to give you an example how people to be participated in the planning of the city of Kuala Lumpur. Just take an example of when we did our local plan for Kuala Lumpur for 2040. What we did was that all the lots within Kuala Lumpur, the land lot, will have the guidance, the plan, the do's and the don'ts. And how we come up with this plan and the guideline and the plot ratio and density, we had 73 engagement, 73 times engagement. And we received 38,000 public opinion, update, suggestions. And we have gone through the process. This is under the law, under the town and country planning of the urban regional planning law of DBKL. And we include every walks of life, from NGO, from professional, academician, from private sector, from the government. So when I talk about the local plan for, as an example, local plan for Kuala Lumpur is a local plan for everyone, not belong to Kuala Lumpur. It's just, this is coordinated. It's done by DBKL, but actually for all. So it is to show how extensive the planning was done. That is for the future planning. For example, for the budget for 2026, we believe in gender responsive participatory budgeting.
Gender responsive
participatory budgeting, GRPB, which I also introduced when I was in Penang. I brought this idea when I was in the UN. Now I'm bringing it to Kuala Lumpur. And we went to every parliamentary area. We had the meeting with the member of parliament and the parliamentary constituency and say that, what do you want DBKL to do next year? Then after we gathers all the information, then we consolidate. Of course, there are many demands with the limited resources, but at least we know what are the people in Kuala Lumpur. Even when we do our budget, we consult them. So they are happy. Of course, they have 10 proposal, but at least you can get 2 or 3 from each parliament area, and then they are happy. At least they are being consulted. And we also have the opportunity to tell them, look, if you want us to do this, you also have to help us to reduce cost of doing business. Look how much it costs us for the cleanliness. It costs us 260 million to clean Kuala Lumpur. If you want us to do what you want, can we cut half of the amount of budget for solid waste management so that the other half we can do for development? In that sense, you help us to keep the city clean. So I think we also have a two-way communication. Why we cannot provide everything that they need? Because we have a limited resources. So I think this in Kuala Lumpur, I'm trying very much to have the public engagement, not only participate, but engagement two-way in whatever that we do.
Right. I guess my last question for you is about what will the next generation inherit? But I think you have so much more knowledge than to answer a question like that. So I'm going to ask you this question. What would you like to see, as Malaysia chairs ASEAN, what would you like to see cities in ASEAN countries do to further work together? Because today we're talking about tariffs and how we can work together as a bloc to sort of reduce tariffs, how we can trade as a bloc. What would you, as the mayor, as the Datuk Bandar of Kuala Lumpur, like to see as Malaysia chairs ASEAN with regards to how all the cities within ASEAN can work together to make one low-hanging fruit that we can pick right now and work together and make it seamless within ASEAN?
Yes.
Whether it's travel or whether it's cultural exchange, you have the ideas. What do you think it is?
I love that question. Yeah. That's why when we'll be having the MGMAC mentioned mayors and governors capital city meeting. We will have ASEAN and Governors Mayors Forum. These two, because the other one is just ASEAN Sustainable Development Forum. That one is different. But these two, the ASEAN Mayors Governors meeting is accredited to ASEAN. And what we would like to see is that the outcomes of these two meetings, we will want to have the what they call it, Kuala Lumpur Joint Leaders Statement, meaning that it's a statement from these mayors in ASEAN. We want to do a few things, the low-hanging fruit. One of the areas that we mentioned that day, we already had a meeting, the technical meeting among us before August. One of the things that we would like to see is solid waste management. Every city, when we had the discussion, they said they're having problem with waste. Let's do towards zero waste. That's one area. So that's why during this meeting, we will have a declared action. We don't want declaration anymore. We the same spelling, but we don't want declaration. We want declared action.
Right.
These
there's a
are
difference.
the
Yeah,
things.
declared action versus declaration.
Declaration.
Yeah.
Because declaration, sometimes we have so many declarations, but we want to declare our action. We want to do solid waste. We also want to do mitigation, and we also want to do maybe public spaces and nature-based solution. And this, we are targeted. We want to do this, and then we want, in our budget, we will allocate certain amount, and we have the timeline and the deadline. And we willing, and we agreed, hopefully, during the technical meeting, we agreed, but we still have to discuss further. We hope that we can, in the next meeting in Manila, for example, because Philippines will be the next chair, we would like to present the report card. These are our declared action. We agreed to do this. Okay, Kuala Lumpur, where are you now? Manila, where are you now? Jakarta, where are you now in waste? What is your success story? What is your challenges? How can you, in this way, you are very successful. Share with us, how do you do it? So at least there will be a continuity every ASEAN, and then we hopefully we can work together in these 10 cities first, because when I'm chairing, but hopefully that we can include this in the main resolution or whatever declaration in October. This leader statement, we want to be part of the bigger ASEAN statement where they will announce it in October this year in Kuala Lumpur.
Right, so it's all going to be taking place in the MGMAC or MGMAC for some of us right here in Kuala Lumpur. And I guess the Dato Bandar, the mayor of Kuala Lumpur, has already etched out her plan, and it's going to be solid waste management. Let's talk about the hard things and not the simple things like cultural exchanges and stuff of that nature. We'd like to thank you, Yang Berbahagia Dato Seri. Thank you so much for taking time off. If you have to give Kuala Lumpur a message, or the people living in Kuala Lumpur a message as Malaysia chairs ASEAN, what would that message be in 1 minute?
I would like the people who are in Kuala Lumpur, we would like to make Kuala Lumpur a livable and a lovable place to stay, and Kuala Lumpur a city for all.
Thank you so much, Yang Berbahagia Dato Seri Maimunah Mohd Sharif, Dato Bandar of Kuala Lumpur, the Mayor of Kuala Lumpur. It was a pleasure and an honor speaking to you after 20 odd years.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you.